Hello and welcome back to Connect with Eva. I hope you've had a lovely week, and I have a very interesting guest for you today, Masha Del Bono, who is a sound healing facilitator, Jungian-based coach, wellness curator, and a model as well.
Thank you
Nice to
so
have
much.
you here today.
I'm really grateful to be here with you today.
I wanted to jump straight in and ask you a very big question, because why not?
Okay, let's go straight to the big questions.
How has your life journey thus far and everything you've experienced and done shaped what you do today?
I mean, I'm very grateful, I would say, as I feel all these past experiences were guiding me to where I am now and where I stand. Obviously, the journey started, I don't know, I have to start somewhere, right? I would say it started at the age of 15 when I started to model, and at 17 when I left Slovenia to pursue these big dreams to become a model. I think it was always maybe more of curiosity for traveling, for exploring, for seeing different places, meeting different cultures, really, maybe more than that idea. But I felt like that modeling gave me that sense of freedom. I could just go, I could just pack my bags, I can just leave wherever and have that independence, right? I felt like that's what my soul was craving at that time. I'm really grateful how it evolved. Of course, it's not been just flowers and butterflies through it, you know it. But I think it's been a massive journey and learning and turning point as well. Learning, for example, how to love myself on a deeper level, I would say. Not just what's on the surface, right? Because that's what job really is about most of the time. It's how you look, how many centimeters you have, right? How many this and that you have, and it can be tiring, and it can be also harsh on young women, no? So I would say I've been through my stages. And I guess maybe that's what kind of triggers the calling for something deeper. That, in one sense, that superficial world almost and me being curious, but what is it beyond just that, right? Just that persona that we put out there in the world. And that's how I started to explore, actually. I'm really grateful because I had so much free time with modeling that I could really study and explore and experience different things, such as breathwork, like yoga at an early stage, meditation. This is where it started, no? I don't know for you, but that's how it started for me. And then, of course, I was curious about the psychedelic experiences because I was reading a lot about it, how it helps with anxieties. I suffered really strong anxieties. At some stage, I would say even panic attacks. And that really helped me. I mean, I think I can't say just one thing, but it was a combination of different practices, I think, and me finding my ground and how to kind of center myself through these practices, really. And and then I came to also plant medicine quite early on. And then I came to sound healing. And then later on to what you mentioned as well, Jungian coaching, mentorship that I do now as well.
Tell me about that, because I don't actually think I've ever heard that terminology before.
I say coaching is more like maybe mentorship, guidance. It's not necessarily how you envision the coaching, the typical coaching. That is just you go and get it, think positively and it's gonna all happen, right? It's very, it's not like that. It's very deep, and that's what I love it. We work a lot with the unconscious. That's where everything really lies. We go a lot to our childhood. We work with the mother and father complexes. We work with dreams. We work with symbolism. We work with of course, meditations as well, with the emotions. Really go into feeling these emotions. Let's say the entry point would be the triggers. That's how we open the door for it. Because I think we all have now that awareness. Luckily, you know what triggers you. Some things might be small and just kind of be whatever. Some things may really kind of trigger you deeply and invokes certain deep emotions. Then depends on the person, I guess. Like some people can go really angry, some people can go really maybe crying, and that I would say is like kind of the entry point when you come to this awareness. And then we work through different techniques to really kind of peel all the layers off. I'm just going to kind of give you like a little bit of like in an understandable way, what we do. Obviously it depends, it's tailored on the individual, but we're kind of peeling off these layers to come to that essence, to understand that you're not all these stories. This is what happened to you. This is because of certain conditioning, certain beliefs might be coming from your father, might be coming from your mother, might be coming from society. It's just basically kind of removing all this when you can come to the place of this white canvas where you can create whatever you want, create the life you desire, because all the stories that we have in our heads that we can't achieve something, right? We can't do something because we are not ABC. We can't have the right partner to, I don't know what, right? They're all the stories and conditioning that, we're influenced with.
How do you use dreams? Because that's fascinating.
Yeah, I think dreams, there is a lot in dreams, right?
God, yeah.
And those that remember will be like, some people remember it. Remember it every morning when they wake up. That was my sister when we were growing up. I have not remembered it when I was younger. And she was every morning telling me the stories. I was like, how is that possible? But, we all dream, and it's just a matter whether we remember. The way we work with dreams is we kind of monitor. I ask people to just a little bit monitor it, just to have that little kind of not structure, but like, so that we have some context really to work from. And it's like, who appeared? Was this a mother? Was this a father? What do they represent? Like feminine or the masculine aspect is always mostly related to ourselves. There are also different types of dreams. There are also prophecy dreams. There are also big messengers. But let's say most of the time they would be related to us, and is our unconscious communicating directly to us through dreams, basically. And then we also see how you felt, like what were some maybe big events that you remember from that dream. And then we would be kind of, I would just be asking the right questions so you can discover for you what that means. Because look, the dream is like this. Doesn't have just one meaning, and it's not just that way. It's obviously how you interpret it. And that's how we come to it. It's me asking you questions to see where in life you are at, and how is this reflecting to you, and what's coming for you.
It's very fascinating to me because for a year, not anymore, but for a year, I would have continuous nightmares. And that was until about a few months ago. And I was kind of just so confused because I was doing what I want to do. And then I would have it every single night. And I would be like, what's going on? And then I started doing yoga nidra, and my nightmares stopped. But the power of the subconscious mind, because obviously there was something happening there. And they were like terrible nightmares. So then you'd wake up and you go about your day and you're doing what you want to do, and you're like growing and you're doing all the right things, right? But the subconscious is like, no, there's so much here that you haven't worked on. Thanks. And it was like,
that is pushed in the back.
But
it hunts us then.
But it's like it's so powerful.
It clears out eventually. There is periods. I also remember I had periods when I was just dreaming a lot of things and dreams that were not necessarily the most
flowers.
But is there a dream that is just like, oh wow, a beautiful adventure? I don't know. I think as we evolve also, they go a little bit more into the twists and turns. I feel like our psyche is really kind of playing with us, and kind of the way it communicates to us this, unpacks it.
I know. Yeah. It's fascinating. Have you had, so when I was little, I would dream a lot that I was flying, and I was flying over fields, and I was just flying a lot in my dreams. And then when I grew up, I was flying again, but it was like a different dream. I was flying away from Earth, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna get lost in the cosmos.
It's funny that you said that, because I remember also flying a lot when I was little. I remember, like, I used to have a lot of dreams when I just couldn't run, like someone was hunting me and I just couldn't run. Like, I don't know if you also had that. It was like, I wanted to run away. Yeah.
I did, but it was like ghosts. And
Yeah,
I couldn't.
some kind of monsters.
I know, it's fascinating. Basically, end up having the same dreams like other people. So mine were in our garden in the village where I would spend my holidays. There was this ghost, and it was always the same place in the garden. It was, I think I dreamt that for a year when I was 8, and I couldn't scream. Anyway.
I mean, yeah, there is a lot there. Look,
a lot.
There is a lot there, and also how we interpret it and how we see it, and how can this maybe be related to expressing, right? Expressing your voice, and yeah.
When you're little, if there is something that's happening in your life and it's not good with parents, let's say, you can't express, you can only please, because this is how, your survival as a child works. You can't express because you have, which is why then you become like, when you grow up, maybe like you tend to people please or be quiet and not. So yeah, it's very interesting. But about that, tell me about shadow work. Let's get into shadow work.
Is a lot. Shadow work I think is such a beautiful way to work through the unconscious, I would say. Because all of the things that we pushed aside, don't want to deal, don't want to face, don't want to become aware of, they're there. They're there ready to be activated and hunt us when the time comes. No? I'll just leave it like this. It's basically things that we haven't become aware of yet, that we're not conscious of. And that's also actually part of this Jungian coaching that I work with people. We become aware of our shadows as well. And is the thing with the shadows is like we all have shadows. Like, and it's not that we're gonna just get rid of and eliminate. It's like there is light and there is dark, right? There are both aspects of it, and both needs to kind of exist and dance with one another, just as there is like day and night, right? And it's just becoming more aware of these shadows, so we know when they want to be played out. In our realities, we often see this, or at least we become more aware of in our partnerships, in our relationships. Things get triggered. Like you see yourself through your partner see yourself through you. It's a constant mirroring. And it's just becoming really aware of it, like seeing, oh, this is coming out for me. And then when we do this deep shadow work, you really see where this is coming from, like from the childhood, maybe when you didn't get something, or maybe you were silenced, or maybe your mom was saying some things that you kind of continue reliving in a way, right? So yeah, the beauty of this is just to be aware of it, like we have it. And now whether this will be activated, or am I able to just kind of lean back and, I don't know how to say it, but like sit with it and be like, oh, that's coming up for me. More maybe expressing it, or like acknowledging it, really, that's what's coming up for me. And I'm not choosing to act or react in certain way. And when you do more and more shadow work, you see you don't act in a way of maybe screaming or like crying or depending on the person, but you just become that with non-attachment there, like just an observer of what's rising up for you. And that's the beauty of this Carl Jung training I've done. And it's a combination of his psychology and social neuroscience and Eastern philosophy. So it's a lot about non-attachment as well. Not detachment, but more like a non-attachment, just sitting there observing, and that's what's coming, but I don't choose to affect me in a sense that I would react emotionally.
What is the process like of the, I guess, of this? Is it therapy?
I don't like to say therapy. Yeah, you know why? Because first of all, I haven't trained as a therapist. Secondly, also because I like his terminology. You know, if you look at if you look at the therapist approach, for example, in our society now, they treat you as a patient. They treat you as you're sick or ill, right? And this is something I've never really agree with. I like how he approaches these things, and it's just we are conditioned.
Yeah.
Right. There is just level of conditioning. Maybe some people are just a bit more conditioned or influenced, if you want to put it this way. Some less, depends. So, and I believe, look, we all carry these stories, and it's just like, and we can all unlearn it, whether there is willingness.
Sometimes we get so attached to our stories, to our pain body, that we almost wear it with pride. Like, no, but this is me. I'm all this trauma that has happened to me.
Sometimes we so attached to it that we believe in it, that this is it. And we're playing that victim as well, right? We're not sovereign. We're not acting from our sovereign place. Of like, this is it. This is what happened. This is where I'm now. That's what I'm saying. And you come to the place of this white canva where you stop not believing, but stop kind of reliving as well these stories, and just be like, okay, what do I wish to create with my life? Who do I wish to become? How do I wish to evolve? Like, we can choose. And that's the beauty of it. I strongly believe, I'm a strong advocate for that. Obviously, let's say some people, and I consider us also privileged in our Western world, maybe we have a little bit more possibilities, but we have everything really, we have everything to create our own realities. Now, whether you want to have 3 million in your bank account, that's maybe that's another thing, okay? And if that makes you happy, go for it, find a way for it. Yeah. But really, to create who we want to be, what do we want to create? Yeah. It's just our world is like constantly pushing us, do this, do that, be that, I mean, it's possible. So I'm learning as I'm going through life also about the patience, and that everything has its own timing, and there are cycles of life, and there are things we have to work through.
This is so important to be happy where you are at, because sometimes we might focus on a specific goal in mind, and then that goal always changes, because when you're focused on the goal rather than the journey and the path, the goal always shifts, because it just means you're never present and you're never in the moment. It's something that I lived so much in my 20s, where I was always like, I just want something else, and this that I'm experiencing right now I'm not living in it. Right, so it's kind of a very detached experience where you always remember being on holiday and just playing a game on my phone the whole time, rather than enjoying the beautiful scenery around me. And it was so beautiful. It was Costa Rica, and I was just there on my phone because I was actually quite unhappy at the time. So I was just playing this game, and I was on the beach playing on the game. And then people will be like, you're on the beach in Costa Rica. No, sorry, I'm not happy. Just because I want to be somewhere else.
I've experienced myself the same thing, is that constant chase of something, right? The grass is always greener on the other side, right? You always want something you don't have. And looking at others like, oh my God, what they have that I don't have. And it's that constant not feeling enoughness.
Yeah.
And I feel it is related to not being enough, not feeling enough. Then you have that sense of like, I'm not doing enough, right? And you constantly kind of chase. And I remember that was my early 20s as well, or even late teens, early 20s, when I was chasing like the next opportunity through modeling, be it campaign, be it editorial, be it whatever, magazine thing. It was that constant thing, which I don't know if I don't say it's necessarily bad. I think we go through the stages of life and then to realize it, okay, that was 20s for me. And I like to see now how we evolved. And I guess that also triggered something, right? For there must be something more than that constant chase. And how to find myself being enough with who I am, with where I'm at, with everything I have, really,
When things shifted was when I told myself, life is so short. And imagine you spend your entire life just wanting something else. Then you've never lived a day in your life.
Yeah.
And that scared me. And obviously, because I think also with my family sometimes, I can see there's such a big difference. Sometimes they don't really understand what I'm doing at all. Like my dad would always message me, are you working? As in there's always, you need to have proof for something that's happening. Otherwise you're not doing anything worthwhile. And for me, it was so important to learn to be present, learn to live a life that I really enjoy, and cherish my time that I have on this planet. It's not like, it's not done. It's not like, now I can just be so present. It's obviously always, a journey, and you're always just moving forward and learning and learning and learning. You're always a student. But it was really important for me to realize, wow, life is so short.
I might as well live it. Yeah. I mean, as you say, it's not always easy, right? Sometimes we get stuck in our heads, like myself too, no? We get stuck and then you're like, wait. And then you like take a break, take a breath, step back a bit. Presence. Yeah, a big one.
It's so difficult sometimes to be present.
It is. Yeah, it is.
I'll be so present and then someone will walk slowly in front of me.
And you're like,
and I'm like, I'm not present anymore. Walk faster.
And we get annoyed. Yeah.
And then I'll be present.
Love it. It's a learning process. It's hard sometimes, no? It's not always easy, especially when you live in a city. You have to run here, run there, do this, do that. Life is happening faster than it used to. At least that's how I perceive it. But also maybe also because I'm getting so much more excitement and I'm really doing what I love and I'm really maybe embracing even more. Yes. And I don't know. I think this and that studying and then this project and that one. And it's just, it does feel a lot. And obviously how to stay connected and present with the self at the same time. And it can be just sometimes okay, let me just take 5 minutes of breathing and just center myself so I can continue going. Yeah. But I do feel when I start a day like this with that presence, with that awareness, it really set the day for me. No, I don't know for you, what's your practice, but do you do something in the morning that makes you feel okay, I feel myself, I'm back in my body, I can get going, I can, have a beautiful day.
Well, at the moment, I do a very quick morning meditation, about 12 minutes, and it's a specific meditation on Insight Timer, which is about envisioning how you want to have your day play out in a very specific way, and obviously in a positive way. So it's just think about one thing today that you want to be or embody. And it's also it's a very soothing voice, and we, you relate differently to different people's voices for meditations. And it just makes me so happy, and I do it lying down in bed because I'm too lazy to sit up. Right. But it makes me smile. It obviously what you do first thing in the morning is so important because it's the first thing. So it kind of sets up your day for failure or for success. And by success, I don't mean like literal success. I mean success in the sense of a day where you're present and you're being the best possible version of yourself that day. So you're being, like the self that you like, that you want to be.
Success is such a wide, I think, it can mean different things to different people, right? So for someone, success can be like waking up and having this 1 million.
I mean, you can't have that every day. Maybe something.
I mean, yeah.
Again, because it comes from that desire to be present as much as possible in my life. And then also, if that doesn't happen for whatever reason, it's also really important to not beat yourself up if you have a down day, a low day, a day where you just decide to give up on your goals for that day and just eat cakes and lie in bed
and cry. If that's it. No, but exactly. I feel like I try not to beat myself up for it. And it's fine to feel that too, to feel these emotions, right? Because I feel like we grow up as well at least I feel like reflecting back and like also what I see maybe other parents like don't do that, don't cry, or like it's not so much acknowledging of the feelings as well, right? And be like, instead of like, okay, this is what I feel today and that's fine and I'm gonna sit in this emotion. If it has to be 1 hour, 1 hour. If it has to be all day doing nothing and lay on the sofa and be total useless person, let's be it, Obviously, that doesn't really happen. That's a bit exaggerated. But it's more like acknowledging that it can't be every day, as you say, like that success, that excitement, that joy, that happiness. It has to be also, sometimes can also be like a bit more reflection happening and maybe we feel sad and maybe, I don't know.
Something that makes me so happy is to have my Christmas pajamas on all year round. That's my safe haven, be dressed in my Christmas pajamas.
Christmas pajamas?
Like, I have a video call with my grandmother and she'll be like, oh, why are you wearing your Christmas pajamas? And I'm like, this is just my home outfit. It's not really related to Christmas.
Well, obviously Christmas presents something very happy for you.
Christmas is my favorite holiday. And it comes from childhood, actually, so you're right, because my grandmother always created this beautiful Christmas for me. And I really hated where I lived. So for me, Christmas was the safe time of the year. So, yeah, you're so right. And now I wear Christmas pajamas all year round.
Love that. I love that. Thinking if I have pajama even.
I mean, everyone's experiences show up differently in life.
We all associate happiness with something.
It's funny because it makes me so happy when I put my Christmas trousers on. And then when it's the whole outfit, when the whole Christmas pajama, it's like, oh, this is ultimate heaven.
It's creme de la creme.
Oh, yes.
Amazing.
The little things.
The little things in life, yes. Let's not lose it. And if it brings you back these beautiful childhood memories, so be it.
I was just thinking about energy, how strong and powerful our energy is and where we put our energy, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, because we always put our energy somewhere. It's just most of the time we do it without thinking.
As we fill up the cup, right, of water and feed our bodies and nourish our bodies, I feel I look at it the same way. It's rising the frequencies, the vibration also up. Now, how do we do that? That's so many different things, but there are so many, I would say, suckers of energy in our world, right? For example, like all this, like the social medias, like the technology, right? All the screens, all the billboards, if you live in a big city, right? All the maybe traffic, the noise,
like the noise right now, right?
Yeah.
I'm feeling myself irritated by it.
Right, you see. Yeah, and then also maybe some people also had that negative energy, right? That just projected onto onto us, and it's not always easy to stay centered in your energy, of course. But it's like, how can we help ourselves rise that frequency? And actually, I was just thinking about it when I was driving here. Literally, yes, I was literally saying to myself, I'm supposed to shake a little bit this morning to let go of this energy. Yeah, and how can we also influence ourselves as well, right? And that's the beautiful thing, like, when you catch yourself, and not to go deeper and deeper down the rabbit holes and get more and more and more and more irritated, because it just sucks you. It's like catching yourself. And that's when I put my music. For example, when you're living in a big city, for me, I mean, look, maybe for some people not, but like to go in the center where it's so many people, so many energies, I really feel it. And it's like often I put just headphones and music there that really suits my nervous system. And that's one thing. Then the second thing, actually, was doing this on the train here. I was there like humming. I literally was humming. I was like, there is no one. It's fine. But
that's a very good exercise, though.
That's something we can all do, and it can raise our frequencies, and it can bring us back to the present moment and bring us back to our bodies. And it's so simple because you have it always with you. It's like, I guess it's like breathing. It's like, but with that you have that sound as well.
It feels very peaceful.
It just kind of soothes our nervous system. That's why. Because we go out of that headspace, right? Out of that thinking mind. And then it's just this presence.
Don't fall asleep, everyone.
Do it with us. Raise your frequency.
But talking about things that take you out of the moment and your mind, there was this period where I was feeling quite low. And what I did to take myself out of it, because it was a loop almost, was to start doing things that I was uncomfortable with. I mean, it was the silliest little thing. So,
what were you doing?
It was a summer 2 years ago, and I was feeling so low. I wasn't really working much. And then I was thinking, what is something that I'm very uncomfortable with? And for me, it was booking a last-minute trip. So I just booked a last-minute trip. And I went to, where did I go? I went somewhere, I don't remember. I went somewhere, I did go somewhere. And I felt so much better. I was like, I feel like it's two things. First of all, you're doing something that breaks the loop of of what's going on. And second of all, I showed myself a new example of behavior for myself. So I'm not I'm not a person who does last minute things, right? And then, why? I just booked a last minute trip. I can be that person if I want to. It's like in the smallest sense, because it's nothing, right? In the smallest sense, I showed myself that what I'm telling myself is not necessarily true. My reality at the time was, I'm not working. I'm in bed all day. I'm not seeing anyone or going anywhere. And then my reality became, I'm on holiday. It's like a small thing that just completely shifts everything. And it can be something smaller if you don't want to spend any money. It can be something smaller. Leave the house. Go somewhere you haven't been before. Go to a park you haven't been before.
And can shift your whole...
Exactly.
Yeah.
And break the habit. Even kind of create a gap in the reality that you have going on for yourself.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. And you understand it. It can be something so little, but it's just so hard. Why?
We like the stories we create for ourselves. I mean, I was just set in my mind that this is my reality. This is who I am. I'm a very rigid person. I don't do anything last minute. And I want safety, so I'm not going to spend any money. And then, to hell with all that. And actually, that trip ended up being free because my flight was delayed. So I got the money back, and that paid for the entire trip. So the universe works in mysterious ways.
You basically even got back.
Yes, I did. I was like, funny that, isn't it? Funny that when you actually want to break the loop, it's almost like the universe has been waiting for you to do this. And it's like, now I can show you what I have in store for you.
Amazing. I love it.
So yeah, I do recommend. It doesn't have to be big. It can be the smallest thing,
Yeah. So as you said, like sometimes it can be just walk in the park. Just put shoes on. That's it.
Yeah. What do you do that grounds you?
It's interesting that you ask me this question because I was saying this weekend to my dear teacher and mentor, Hoppy, my whole life I felt so ungrounded. I don't know. I think living in so many different places, traveling constantly, being on this constant move, but also in my headspace too much, right? It's just like exploring and this next thing and that next thing and then psychedelic experience. And I felt all over then grounded. I mean, one simple thing it is for sure, like just being around, like being in nature or being close to the tree or water. That's what I wanted to say. Like I've never felt more grounded than I do now in my life, also because I'm pregnant. And it's just something so amazing. I don't know what, but it just brings me back to my body. Maybe also because it's happening there, right? That is so fascinating. And also it was actually a profound message that came through about 2-3 years ago during a ceremony. And it just came at the end of ceremony. It came to me like, okay, to go higher up, you need to ground more in terms of to go and explore other spaces, realities. The higher you want to go, the lower you need to anchor yourself, really, to anchor all these energies.
It's interesting because last weekend, I did a Kundalini activation. Have you ever done one? Oh my God.
You know, this one is the one practice that I'm not interested in trying.
I was like,
I don't know what.
I have
please
read
share your
quite a lot of varied experiences from it, but I think it probably depends massively on the person who does it. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because at the beginning I was like, nah, nothing. And I'm so open. Why am I not feeling anything? And then, oh my God, everything happened. And then the first thing that I felt was I could breathe. Because I have this thing, I don't know. I mean, maybe because I haven't been fully grounded because, life. But sometimes I'm not breathing easy, right? I'm not breathing easy. It doesn't feel easy. And the first thing that I felt when I did the practice was, wow, breathing is easy.
Do you feel it stays with you?
Yeah. It was mad. And I can still breathe. Well, it would be a problem. But it was an incredible experience.
What else have you experienced? Did you go on a trip, or was it more just physical, more in the body?
Oh, my body physically reacted. I think breathing is the one that I can tell. I can say I feel I can breathe better now because it's an easy thing to say, right? Sometimes with emotions, it's not always an obvious thing. Mm-hmm. But because I've been like, there's something that's stuck, right? I don't know what it is, but there's something that's stuck. And then
This one is one practice that I still don't feel so strong about. I think it's just so, obviously, again, as anything else, I think with who you're doing this deep experiences is so important, be it a shaman, a healer, a facilitator, anything you're doing. Trust the person that is holding that space for you, because it can do more damage. And I just found it so intense, like in terms of like you really kind of have to trust that person, and it's really working strongly on your energy, right?
Yeah. It's more powerful than Reiki. Though I didn't find myself as sensitive as I did after Reiki, because after Reiki I was just so sensitive to energies. And obviously, if you're in a busy place, I was just like sucking all the energy. With that, I was not so sensitive to energy. I just felt like I had almost like unblocked something. But then everyone is on a different journey. So you can't compare that kind of experience. It's not something you can compare to other people's experiences at all.
I think whatever works and hopefully do it with the right person.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Right. That's.
I feel like it can be quite damaging if it's not with the right person.
Yeah. That's, and I just haven't met someone that I would say I trust you to do that thing on me.
I mean, it's a weird experience, and I'm a very rational person. So it's two things. I am open and I'm also rational. And I feel like sometimes there's an internal battle between these two things. Like, no, I'm rational. No, but I'm also open.
Well, I guess it's whenever it serves, Be open whenever you need to open.
Absolutely.
Be open. And then sometimes it's good that we're not too open.
Oh, yeah.
In some situations.
Absolutely.
It's good that we have some discernment. Be like, okay, let me think twice. Do you want to go on that train?
Oh,
yeah.
Tell me what you have coming up in store for you. Apart from congratulations.
Well, yeah, that's going to be a big, massive chapter. That's going to keep me quite busy, I assume. However, I'm just so excited because I feel it's so many beautiful opportunities coming as well on my way that are so in alignment with what I'm doing, from sound healing experiences, sound baths, and embracing this new kind of mentorship from my teacher, which I'm really excited about. It's a 1-year journey. This weekend, we had our first in-person retreat. And it's just, soul nourishing. I'm not going to say it's like really heavy studying, but it's more embodying and it's more playing with all these 4 female archetypes, going from the maiden, mother, maga, and matriarch, as we women go. And it's just really tapping into that feminine aspect. And I feel this is where I'm at. And it's really interesting for me to say that because I feel I've been majorly in my masculine my whole life. And that's how I operated, that's how I was going. And until something obviously shifted, as you say, something started to open up that was calling for that feminine to be also present. And we can see it in so many, I think it was through different experiences, from plant ceremonies to this Jungian coaching when we have feminine, masculine aspects, to, I guess, deeper understanding of it, how important it is to work with both energies, really, and have the masculine when it serves you, when to get things done, when get projects done, and to have that feminine when to be more maybe flowing, more intuitive, more nurturing and creative. And I really love that stage of my life now. I don't know. So I'm really excited.
Exciting. It's super exciting.
Just going more with that trust as well, which is beautiful,
That's a
Before
big
I was like, as you said, maybe more structured. There is still structure, but there is just a little bit more space of play and flow and, going and creating spaces also for others and retreats. And this is what's really calling me. So I'm excited.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Where can people find you? If you want to be found.
I stopped hiding. People can find me on Instagram. It's Masha Del Bono. And as well, I have my website, mashadelbono.com. And that's it.
Thank you.
I really appreciated it. Thank you so much for having me. And I really enjoyed this conversation and laughing and sharing and
I
exploring.
feel like I've had a meditation because I feel so calm right now.
Oh, that's great.
Raise your energy. If you could bottle it up and sell it, it will be very successful.
Bottle it up.
Well, I should not probably not bottle up energy. Right.
Yeah.